best kept secrets travel.
So the first part of planning, after the budget that is, or the fourth part, whatever way you're counting, is the time frame. So this is very important to think about because you need to decide how much you can do. You need to decide how much time you're spending in different places. And a very important thing to decide here, if you're doing a tour, so this could be travel. So for example, traveling around Colombia, there are some things that you can do self-guided and some things that you have to do guided tours, like the Lost City Trek, for example. Guided tours are going to take a lot more time than if you did it yourself. Although with some sacred sites like that, for example, and Machu Picchu, which we did, it's quite, I suppose, technically you could do it alone. You could get the train.
You did Machu Picchu completely alone.
Yeah, you could get the train there and then buy the ticket on the door.
I think it quite drastically depends your adventure. It depends knowledge of the country. The problem is that Morgan and I aren't exactly linguists, so when it comes to certain countries,
we're English.
We're very English. When it comes to certain countries...
¿Cómo estás? Una cerveza, por favor.
When it comes to certain countries, we don't necessarily want to take the risk of just going at it on our own without having someone with us in our group, or a guide, for example, who does speak the local language.
Yeah, it depends how comfortable you feel, because I spent 3 weeks in Colombia alone without speaking any Spanish, and you can download Google Translate now, which makes it easy that it's offline. So as long as you feel safe in that country, which I personally did feel okay, all right, safe enough in Colombia, then the language is... yeah, it's safe in Colombia. I felt fine without knowing the language because of Google Translate, and that got me enough. You learn the basic phrases, which I've already listed off, and then I'd also say "Donde está," which is "where is," and then I'd go back to English and say the English word for things, and that tended to work. Or you make signs, like people know sort of sign language.
Sort of. As Morgan suggested, that the guiding side can take a lot more time, and in the future episodes we do really talk about it, just like in our deep dive for the Australia episode. But when you're doing your complete self-guiding instead of a guided tour, Morgan and I managed to get, I think we averaged 2 or 3 major activities a day within our time zone
in New Zealand.
Yeah. When we did New Zealand, we were doing at least 3 major things a day. Whether it be we'd go do something crazy, then we spent the rest of the day like skiing for the first time ever in New Zealand, or another day we did the glowworms, and then another cave,
the gold panning.
Yeah, we did gold panning.
We just drove
wine
past
tasting.
it was amazing.
Yeah, we were just covering so many different things, and I mean, personally, I do love doing as much self-guided things as possible, because you come across things just like the gold panning where it wasn't planned. We would never have come across it if we were on one of the Greyhound buses. We'd never have come across it.
We wouldn't have looked it up. We wouldn't have chosen to gone out our way to do it. I don't think
we would have been told about it.
No. And it was a lot of fun. And also, the tours tend to be quite a bit more expensive. Plus, you have to tip all your guides. But then also, you're guaranteed to be with people, which can be both good and bad, dependent on the group of people. So we've had Fraser Island, where we're still in contact with loads of people there, and really enjoyed that. Machu Picchu, we got on with people a lot. Whit Sunday, we were slightly unlucky. We did a 3-day tour, and we just happened to be on a boat that had nothing against older people, but it had a family of... They were all mid-50s, late 60s, and this was...
And the trip was meant to be designed at, I think, sub-35.
Sub-35, party-ish sailing boat, and it was less so. We did teach people how to take photos of the stars.
We did.
Not on a tripod, on a moving boat.